How does it go, Todd? Hello and
The
welcome
Free Kick Podcast.
to AAT Sports Across the Pitch live, both from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and Subaru Park. Todd, how are you?
I'm good, actually. This is the first time I think I've felt the AC inside the press box, and I gotta say, it feels nice. I did not believe it worked, and it actually does work.
To be fair, I sort of see a vent back there. I see Mr. David Melandra back behind you too. It seems like the air conditioning's working, though. I'm guessing similar to where I am, a relatively nice night for soccer compared to the last 2, 3 matches that you and I have been at Subaru Park.
Yeah, really nice night. I mean, gorgeous night. I think probably the best weather night we've had all season long. You look at, really from the start of this game, 10th minute, Daniel Gazdag scores, gets a second goal right before the half. And I don't know about you, and I'm sure we'll get into it here in a little bit, but I was feeling a little bit nervous. I mean, we've seen a lot of times this season where the Union only got one goal in the first half, and then second half starts, and the other team's right back in it because the Union kind of buried their chances. So credit to Daniel Gazdag for putting 2 goals on the back of the net this game in the first half and making it a little bit more comfortable going into the half. But yeah, a beautiful night here at Subaru Park, and I got to give a shout out to Keystone State Ultras. They were fantastic all night long, super duper loud. And for people who aren't familiar where the press box sits or haven't been to Subaru Park, it's to the right of me, and I know that doesn't mean anything to you guys on the screen, but and they were getting all the sections underneath the press box involved in the chants, and yeah, I mean the vibes were high tonight at Subaru Park.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was really interesting, and I'm so glad you lifted their name up, the Keystone Ultras, man. I get a lot of DMs, whatever. I sift through them, delete, etc. Most of them bots, fully transparent. All the porn bots trying to send me whatever they want to try to send me. But certainly a lot of videos today of the Keystone Ultras doing their thing, and just how loud and surprisingly organized they are for a section or a group that doesn't have a pyramid per se in terms of leadership, structure, etc. It's really fascinating. So shout out to them. But Todd, where to start today? Maybe we do something a little different. In terms of as we think about the game, think about the players, think about what happened, what didn't happen, and what's ahead. How nice it is to have Andre Blake back doing Andre Blake things, right? Keeping this game within reach, certainly, literally. I think, that save on, was it Bunbury there towards the tail end of the game? Unbelievable save. I don't know that there will be a better save this match day to dethrone that one from being save of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim Curtin mentioned it in the press conference where, look, Daniel Gazdag is going to get all the headlines for the hat trick tonight, as he should. But there was a moment in the game where it was 2-0 Union, and you see Andre Blake come up with that huge save, and Jim Curtin shouted that out because that's so easily lost in the 3 goals scored by Gazdag tonight. And actually, when we were heading into the press, into the locker room, so I could speak with some players, Phil Wedding, the goalkeeper coach, we shook hands and everything. He acknowledged me.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the free kick podcast twice. Have you guys had him on? I'm not sure. Have you guys? No.
I don't have the guts to ask him.
Come on. But
Not big enough.
you. I mean, you have so many better guests than Phil. I mean, Phil's a great guest, but look at the people you guys are pulling on to your show. I mean, Kyle and Jillian Albany, they've been on, right? No, yeah, it's
Yes, they
guest, right? I mean, another. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who all you guys have had. I guess did we say Dave's a guest of the show? Because I feel like it's more so you and Mike than it is Dave.
Yeah,
So late
yeah.
for Dave over there. So late for Dave over in England. I love Dave.
So
Maybe he's
late.
watching. Maybe he's listening tonight. But yeah, anyway, Phil Wedding was like, "That's a big save there from Andre Blake," and great to have Andre back. And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I mean, so many people are going to forget the performance that Andre Blake had, and look, I think the whole momentum shifts if that save doesn't get made by Andre, because the score is 2-1, and then Union eventually go down and get the third goal with Daniel Gazdag. But just having his leadership out there is huge, and you can see just the composure by the defenders of the Union. And I mean, they're just used to having Andre Blake behind them, and when you have that sense of familiarity, you're willing to take risk. And That's exactly, I think, what the Union did at times tonight, stepping high out of the line to go press the ball. And, not many times the Union got beat, but if they did, Andre was right there to come up with a huge save.
Yeah, a huge save, and honestly, even before that save, I believe, as I'm thinking about the timeline of the match, thinking of the play where the ball hit the post, and then Jose Martinez drives all the way up to the third half of the field. But all in all, man, Andre Blake, how nice it is to have him. And you're right, as Jim mentioned, and he's not one to really focus on one specific player and give all of the praise or all of the blame. Andre Blake certainly was one that shined, though. A little bit of a scary moment there in the first half. What seemed like a very routine play came down. Seemed like something was up with his knee. Carried out the rest of the game, though, towards the tail end. Was not taking goal kicks any further. Can you talk a little bit about Jim's comments on Blake after the game?
Yeah, I mean, he basically said Andre is good. No concern there. I mean, it was a little bit nervy moment, and I was like, oh no, like why does this have to happen again? I mean, you finally get Andre Blake back after missing 14 games. Played obviously against New England on Wednesday night, and didn't have a lot to do in that game. And then tonight, when the Union needed him, I mean, he came out with save after save, and I believe it's his first clean sheet of the season. Somebody in the comment section can correct me. But I do believe that there was Andre's first clean sheet this season. And again, you look at just how many years this back line's been playing with Andre Blake, and it's no shots fired at Oliver Zemlo or Andrew Rick, but time and time again that Andre Blake's going to bail you out because he's a three-time goalkeeper of the year, three-time best 11 player. And Jim Gerton said it multiple times in the past where, look, yes, not only is Andre the best goalkeeper in MLS, but you can make an argument that he's one of the best players in MLS as a whole. And tonight he showed exactly why that was.
Before we move on to the next layer of the cake, that is the starting lineup and the team. I'm sure you notice you're eagle-eyed and far more eagle-eyed than I am, Todd. Really interesting. Oliver Salmla, not part of the 20. The new addition that played a majority of the games leading into Andrew Rick taking over the number 2 spot. What do you make of that?
Not much, right? I mean, maybe you're trying to bait me into saying something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you're just genuinely asking. Maybe somebody in the comment section asked. I don't know. But I go back to when the Union had Matt Freese, Joe Bendick, and Andre Blake as the goalkeeper. I mean, there would be times when Matt Freese wasn't on the bench for the Union, and it would be Joe Bendick. Sometimes it would be Matt Freese and no Joe Bendick. So yeah, I don't buy too much into it. Would you have wanted to get him playing time with Union 2 then yesterday if if you weren't going to include him into the bench just to keep him fresh? Yeah, potentially. But I don't know how good Union 2 is gonna help you. And maybe he's a goalkeeper that's lacking a little bit of confidence and just getting the game time. Yeah, maybe that's huge. But yeah, I don't read into it too much.
Sure. I just found that interesting because Andrew Rick did make the trip to New York last night, played all 90, and came back and was the number 2 and almost called upon as
Well,
Brady's
yeah.
sort of.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, you asked him about it to list out the depth chart, and yeah, he
Yep.
told you Andrew Rick's the second goalkeeper on this roster. So if that is what Jim believes, and that's what our eyes show us too, that that's what it does seem like, that Andrew Rick is the second goalkeeper behind Andre Blake, then it makes sense why you would have Andrew as your second tonight.
Yep. Mandy, thank you so much for commenting. Blake had been massaging his knee for a little bit. Brady also mentioned something that we did hear during the press conference, which maybe was a little bit of gamesmanship too, right? With Jakob Glesnes also having to a ripped shoe, I believe, is what I heard, right?
Yeah, he said a ripped shoe. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, they're grown
Come on,
ass men
Adidas.
who are
Crap Adidas shoes. That's what it is.
well, not all of them are wearing copas or anything like that, right? So they're wearing these super thin F50s, whatever you want to call them.
It's like
So
you might as well not wear a shoe at all. I mean, the soccer cleats now today are so lightweight. But I guess that's what the players prefer, right? Is just basically running barefooted. But obviously, you have something on there. But I don't know. You see so many players. I remember last year there was a situation where I forget what player it was, but this player kept breaking their shoelaces, and they had to keep getting new shoes brought out to them by Union Equipment and manager Niski because the shoelaces kept snapping. So, come on, guys.
That's too funny. I don't recall that, but that is funny. So let's
I
look at
think it
the
was
next
during
layer.
Leagues Cup.
Okay, was it Leagues Cup? I'll have to. Now I'm intrigued. You got my brain going here. So let's think about the defense. To me, Todd, you're deep in the mud here, deep in it. Okay, Olivia Mbizo, what a great game he had today. I know he has had his shortcomings and games where he has really underperformed, maybe put the team at in harm in a way, right? With his play and whatnot. Olivier today was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What are your thoughts on the defense and maybe Olivia? And obviously we can talk about Kai, but incredible performance for him as well. And a really interesting early yellow for Damian Lowe, which probably took a toll on the way he played and the way he handled himself after a second-minute yellow.
Yeah, let's start with Olivier, right? No surprise to anybody here on listening to the show. No surprise to any of my listeners over on my podcast. Not the biggest Olivier Bizer fan, but yeah, he played fantastic tonight. I thought against Jacob Schafferberg, who had a fantastic Copa America with Canada, and uh, you've started to see some rumors swirl around saying, yeah, there's teams in Europe interested in him, and Olivier Bazo kept him quiet for the whole night. And offensively, I mean, Olivier's always been a player that's offense first, and we saw so many chances created. I mean, towards the end of the game, he had that chance to Sam Otterin, and Sam had the shot on target. I'm sure we'll talk about him here a little bit later, but yeah, defensively, I thought Olivier Bazo was really, really strong, and um, I don't know. I mean, how do you get those performances to be consistent? And I said this before, and I'm sure you probably felt the same way, where there was a big hole at right back once Nathan Harriel left to go to the Olympics with the U.S. with Jack McGlennon. Yeah, you look at Olivier Bazo as being the natural replacement, but we've seen so many 4 out of 10 games, 5 out of 10 games, 3 out of 10 games, and Jim Curtin said the same thing in the past, and it's about being consistent. And we've seen games like this tonight where Olivier's looked really, really good, and that's why Jim Curtin said once again, these type of performances is why he could play in Ligue 1 in France. But for whatever reason, he can't string those performances together back to back games. And maybe he can take this momentum going into Leagues Cup on Saturday against Charlotte. Hopefully, Union are going to need a big performance against Charlotte. And Jim Curtin actually mentioned that too. He said, basically, if you take care of the business against Charlotte, you set yourself up pretty good to get out of the group. But I look at a player like Olivier Bazo, who is still a question mark, in my opinion, defensively, just because we've seen so many errors year after year, game after game this season. But to his credit, he showed out tonight, and hopefully he can find a way to just be consistent and carry these performances over. Jacob Glesnes, Jack Elliott, both of those guys fantastic on the night. Kai Wagner, another solid night. But one thing I actually do want to point out, because it seems like we're going to go area through the team, is I ask this question to people all the time, and I'll ask yours. If you were Coach Jose and you had to build your team around two, not specific players, but two positions, how would you build your team?
Sorry, hold on. I'm 2 drinks
Position-wise,
down.
if you were a coach, what positions would you make your first two signings? You're building a team from scratch, not specific players, but positions.
Goalkeeper and a number 10.
And what's the number 10? The middle of the field. You want to build through the spine of your team. So you look at Daniel Gazza, great game in the middle. Jose Martinez, great game in the middle. Your two center backs, great. Andre Blake in the middle. It starts with the spine and the team. And if your spine's playing good, then the rest of the team's going to play good. And so I think just everybody through that spine of the team, fantastic tonight.
So hold on, did I pass the test?
You did. I mean,
Okay.
me personally, I would go goalkeeper and a 6, but a 10's fine too. I mean, as long as you're getting those positions down the middle, I think you're good. I mean, how many years have the Union struggled without a good number 6? And no offense to Harris Noonan, but Jose Martinez wasn't supposed to be the guy. It was supposed to be Matai Orbats, and Jose Martinez beat him out. And Jose's been the best six the last couple of years in MLS. And I know he's had his rough moments this season, but he's had back-to-back great performances there in the middle of the field for the Union.
Keep that train going, Todd, because I want to talk about the middle. Quinn Sullivan, Jose Martinez, Leon Flock. Jose Martinez clearly the star, I think, of that midfield core today. Honestly, I sort of sensed it. I spoke with him on Friday when I went down to practice, spent 10 minutes with him, almost late to the press conference with Jim. You can sense the confidence. You can feel and see that he's confident, he's feeling good. And I think that's just genuinely a result of Copa America and how well he has done, being included in different, best of teams, may it be EAFC or even, CONMEBOL's own tournament list, never mind pundits also building, rosters of the best 11 for the tournament. Jose being, as you mentioned, right at the center of it as a center defensive mid. Let's talk a little bit about that midfield today, Jose Martinez, and what you saw from the press box today.
Yeah, I mean, he was everywhere in the midfield, winning tackles, spraying passes like he normally does. How about that play in the second half, I believe it was, when he won the ball back in his own half, and then he goes on that long run on the right sidelines, and then he draws the yellow card. Who was it? Bauer, I believe, who picked up the yellow card.
It was off of that post, right, that it bounced out, and
Yeah.
Jose just runs with it. Yep, right off the sideline.
And I don't know about you. I mean, we've seen that play the last couple of years by Jose, and specifically against Orlando City, he did that, and he pulled his hamstring. And I'm like, Jose, I mean, you're quick, but dude, there's been too many instances. I think the other one was against DC United too, where you go on a similar run and then you pull up because your hamstring gives out. But to his credit, I mean, he's a quick player, and he's a player that does such a fantastic job protecting that back line. And when he's on, again, he's one of the best number sixes in all of MLS. And I think one part of his game that maybe gets a little bit underlooked is his passing ability and just switching the field of play. I think you clipped something against New England last game where it was just a beautiful diagonal pass. And it's one of the more underrated parts of his games, I think. But yeah, defensively, I mean, it's the Jose Martinez of the old.
And hopefully a Jose Martinez of the new, too, carrying on this confidence of a Copa America, right? Shaking off whatever had happened prior to departing to the different places that he had to play throughout the United States for the tournament. So let's move forward. I'm going to lump in Daniel Gazdag into the striker position or the attacking piece of it all. Ty Baribo, Mikel Ua, who had a great night of his own. Ty Baribo, maybe not on a stat sheet that would, no statistics that would really tell how well he played, which, it's more of an eye test, right, in terms of his pressure and hustling and moving. But Daniel Gazdag, 3 goals, none of them from the penalty spot. Haters like Trav Man, I know he listens and watches from time to time. Trav Man, where are you? I know you're listening. Glad to see Daniel scoring from open play. What did you make about the top 3 today?
Real quick before I answer that, but see Mike Barrera is in the comment section here. Mike, are you still at the stadium? Where you at? Should have got Mike up here.
Mike does not have press credentials today.
Mike.
Mike Barrera is a citizen, a regular citizen.
I'm not gonna say anything. Not gonna give people ideas. Yeah, Mike needs his credentials. But yeah, the top 3. I mean, of course, we started the show saying Daniel Gazdag is going to get all the headlines, and they were fantastic finishes by Daniel. And again, scoring from open play. How many times have we heard fans in the past say, "Oh, he's a pen merchant. All he does is score from the penalty field." Well, scored all 3 goals from open play tonight. And I asked him after the game, said, that's 6 goals now in your career against Nashville. Is there something you're seeing differently against Nashville compared to other teams? And he's like, wait. For real, I have 6 goals against Nashville. Didn't even realize it. But I don't know. It seems like every game, Nashville just lose them, and specifically in the 18-yard box. Daniel's IQ is so good to find that space, and he's always in the right place in the right time where the ball is just able to find him. And how about the pass by both Leon Flock on one of the plays in the first half, and then the pass by Mikel Ua two players that you don't really look at being creative players, and both of them were able to find just Daniel Gosling the little bit of space. And I think Daniel has to be given a lot of credit for keeping himself on side. And he told us in the locker room, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't even celebrate on one of the goals because I thought I was going to be called off sides." And to VAR's credit, to the assistant referee's credit, they didn't wave him off. He was on side, and he did a good job to just stay on side there. And I thought it was fantastic. And I don't know if you noticed this, Jose, or anybody listening, but the Union love attacking from out wide, and it seemed like they were getting a lot of success this game attacking down the middle. And maybe that's something that the team can exploit going forward, where they don't always have to involve the wingers to constantly push up. Because I know whenever I was on here last, somebody was upset with how high the Union's fullbacks push up, and sometimes the Union get caught out. And tonight, I don't think you really saw the two fullbacks, Kai Wagner and Olivier Baze, push up as high as they normally do. Yes, Olivier Baze push up high in the second half at times, but a lot of the play for the Union went down the middle of the field, and maybe that's something that they can exploit going forward. Maybe that's going to be a strength for this team. Ty Baribo, after scoring a hat trick last game, doesn't get a goal this game, but his work rate's fantastic. Mikael Uhre getting that assist, like I said, I mean, he ran his tail off. And then Sam Adeniran, if you want to go ahead and talk about him real quick, we can. He had two chances there towards the end of the game, and man, I thought he played fantastic in the press. And again, those numbers aren't really going to show up on the stat sheet. A lot of fans look at assists, they look at goals, but yeah, he was fantastic. And you heard the ex head coach Bradley Cornell saying, "Yeah, I'm not happy with his work rate. He gets sent off to go train on his own. He goes and misses 2 games because Bradley Cornell's not happy with his work rate." Well, tonight, I know it's one game, but he looked fantastic pressing, and forced Joe Willis to kick the ball out of play or to a Union player. I forget what happened there in the second half, but his work rate was really good. And yeah, I mean, luckily, fortunately, whatever word you want to use, the Union didn't have to rely on those two chances he had towards the end of the game to get the Union back in the game. But just seeing him in the right place in the right time, and the Union being able to find him inside the box, I think that's where he's going to be deadly. 6'4", 6'5". It's a tall target to hit, and the Union don't really have a hold up player, so take advantage of that. And I think they will. But I think it was a good showing for Sam.
Absolutely, and just a couple of points of statistics here. Mandy mentioned it. I had it on my notes. Daniel Gastag tied third for the Golden Boot with 14 goals, which is unbelievable when you think about the season that the Philadelphia Union have had. Also, what was I going to say? Shit, I started reading something else. Sam, about Sam. Was he available to the press today?
He was not.
He was not. Bummer. What an incredible night from him. And sure, 30 minutes. I think it's more than Ty Baribo played in his first 3 months with the Philadelphia Union. He did it all in one appearance altogether, which is kind of crazy. But absolutely right, Todd. Spot on in terms of someone who was pressing, who was moving, shaking. And it must be said, first assist that I think the MLS will credit to a head groundskeeper with Mark Mello. The turf monster taking over and eating alive the Nashville defense. Unbelievable how they slipped there at the end.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Todd. Who were you able to speak to? I know you mentioned Gastag after the match. Who else was available to the press, or any notable quotes or bits of pieces of information to share before we move on to the next match?
Mikael Uhre, honestly, I was so far back. I got there late too. Wasn't really sure what Mikael said. Daniel Gazdag spoke, and then Leon Flock, yeah, they brought basically all the players out at the same time. So it's like you pick and choose who you want to speak to. So didn't really hear what Leon had to say. Didn't hear at all what Mikael had to say. And then Daniel Gazdag, just talking about wanting to keep this going forward. It's just your typical stuff. And for people who aren't aware, there's only so many questions you can ask these players, because you ask, I feel like, or maybe this is on me, but I feel like some of the questions that get asked time and time again, just how many more different answers or questions can you ask these guys? How many more different answers can these players give? And maybe that's on us for not coming up with the best questions. But yeah, I mean, happy vibes, a lot of smiles in the locker room. I did. Here's an update for you. I'm not going on the IR I got blasted in the back of the calf by, I think, Daniel Gazag's kid, not sure. And I kind of stumbled forward a little bit. And Nika's like, dang, how's your calf? I said, oh, it's good. It probably would have been a little bit different if it was a player. He's like, yeah, you stumbled a little forward there. I said, yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I got to say, though, if that was indeed Daniel Gazag's kid who did kick me, give that kid a contract right now in the academy. I mean, that was a strong kick. And maybe it wasn't him. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. But yeah, I think that was a highlight, right? That I'm not going on the IR, that I'm okay. My calf's okay. My chicken legs. Not going to show legs on the stream. People got to pay for them. But all in all, pretty good night. I mean, sucks that I missed out on 2 out of 3 of the players, but it is what it is.
I'm really intrigued, and I think it's something for me to follow up on, and you as well as we carry on these conversations with
I will
players.
say
Or
though
but
about Liam Flock.
yes,
I did not get the opportunity to ask Leon that because Jonathan Tannenwald asked him one question, then Leon seemed like he had enough answering questions, and yeah, he was done. He left, and actually no, he went and talked to a reporter here who speaks German with him. So I was like, yeah, you guys can go ahead and have your time. Do you not
so
know who that is?
so what did he say in German, Todd? Don't you speak it?
Where's Jillian? I know she's listening. She speaks it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I think all of us in the press for sure are wondering Leon Flock's future with a contract who ends in that ends in or on December 31st, I should say. I'm so sorry. His future is certainly a question mark, right? No club options. Genuinely ends on December 31st, January 1, whatever date you want to use. Is he talking to other teams? Is he talking to the union
I mean, you
about
could, right?
Yep, absolutely can. It is well within his right to negotiate on himself by himself and come up with a contract that would start on January 1 with a different team. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Leon Flock contract. It's weird to say situation, but you know what I mean. See how that all develops, how that all unfolds. But for now, Todd, maybe it's a good time to start thinking ahead and looking at what happens next. And someone had a comment here that I want to bring up. And obviously, we have a week, genuinely a week, for the Philadelphia Union to reload, recharge, and prepare for a match against Charlotte. Leagues Cup's coming. Todd, what are your thoughts with Leagues Cup coming into town? I should say Charlotte coming into town with Leagues Cup being the competition. How you feeling about it? What's your hype level? I know it's not the most popular competition right now, but there is something big on the line for the Philadelphia Union should they make it all the way or make it far enough. I believe in their situation, they would have to win it all the way to qualify.
Well, it's funny, listening to Chalk Talk, I believe, Dave Lenner and Sage Hurley call it. Dave had mentioned Leagues Cup to the fans, and they started booing it. Dave's like, I know this isn't the most everybody's favorite competition, and you get a loud boo in Union Yards. I'm like, Jesus, like I think that tells you everything you need to know about Leagues Cup. But no, Jim Curtin brought up a good point. I think this was your question to him, Jose, where he said, if we get knocked out, now we have a month off. And that's like a mini preseason. And the players don't want that. The coaches don't want that. Yeah, you can rest and recover. But, you want to keep this momentum going forward. Yes, these are 2 games you should have beat in New England and Nashville. But at the same time, you want to go as far as you can in the competition and just stay fresh and hopefully stay healthy. And then once the league picks back up, you can go ahead and carry that momentum, hopefully, that you have from Leagues Cup that you have right now. Because, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's 2 games that you guys should have beat, New England and Nashville. You have momentum going forward. The Union kept a clean sheet, 1 goal in their last 3 games, I believe it is, that the Union have conceded. They've been leaking so many goals this whole season. So, I mean, that's a big positive right there, just not conceding a ton of goals the last 3 games. You're continuing to score, 0 goals, I know, against Red Bulls, but before that, you scored 3 goals on the road at Chicago, and then you score 5 goals against New England, 3 goals tonight. So, I mean, the offense hasn't been the issue, and so hopefully that offense can carry over to Leagues Cup. Hopefully, defensively, the Union can be solid. I do think I hear the cleaning people up here, so I don't know if that's a sign. Hey, we're gonna kick you guys out, but yeah, as we get to wrap this up,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you're
I'm
good.
looking forward to Leagues Cup.
Yep, we have a few more minutes yet here to finish up. Um, Yeah, myself, I'm excited. I know this isn't the most popular competition. It's not the U.S. Open Cup, etc. But nonetheless, when you think about the player side, it is a very financially attractive attractive competition. Oh my gosh, is Todd Lewis getting kicked out? No,
No, no, we're good. We're good.
we're good. Okay. Leagues Cup, not popular, but financially very lucrative for the players when you think about what they're able to earn and share amongst the players and even the staff who help out the team in terms of getting them prepared, healing, getting them ready for the next match, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the Union take on Charlotte in 7 days, and then shortly after, not shortly, another weekend, and is it 8 days then? They would face Cruz Azul, I believe so.
Yeah, Jim said it was weird. They go Saturday and then they go Sunday, so they get an extra rest day.
Yeah, so seven, and then 8 days later, they face Cruz Azul all at Subaru Park. Cruz Azul will have to bounce between Philadelphia and Charlotte. So expect some sort of crossover with the Mint City Collective, the folks over in Charlotte, leading into the match this week. Todd Lewis, any final words before we sign off here? I think it's also fair to share with the folks here. We got to go ahead. So
Yeah, thank you
as
to the Philadelphia Union for allowing us to do these shows. I asked, and they said, yeah, you guys are free to do your live shows from the press box. You guys are good to go. So as long as Jose wants, we'll do these every home game. I mean, we try to do them every away game, but if you guys continue to listen, you guys want us to do these, we'll do it. Connection's not the greatest over in Union Yards or the Sons of Ben lot. I think there was comments on Twitter saying, "Oh, come over to the lots," but yeah, the connection is not the greatest over there. Even trying to use a hotspot. Hopefully, the connection's been good here in the press box. Hopefully, you guys can hear me fine, and hopefully, we can continue to make this a traditional thing. And yeah, thank you. I see the comments just continue to roll in, and hopefully, one of your comments, Jose, said, hopefully you're not driving and watching YouTube at the same time. Hopefully that's not the case for people. But yeah, this has been great. You have David Melandra right behind me. I think him and I are the only ones in the press box. So
yeah. No, it's exciting. I'm so thankful for the union and the union PR for allowing us, and we'll try to switch it up. I know Todd's gonna go and test as soon as we're done today if we can get a better background in terms of being
actually,
closer. Go ahead.
go. You keep talking. We'll try right now. If I get
Yeah.
disconnected, I
So
get
if
disconnected.
Todd gets disconnected, we're trying this live on the fly, folks. We're hopeful to make it more scenic. Sure, the press box is nice and all, but ideally, Todd is going to walk us through where we would want to be at, ideally, which is with our backs facing the field. So
Yeah, it's no way it's happening, Jose.
not happening.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this. Take you with me.
All right, here we go. So ideally, we would want to have our backs to the field, but if the Wi-Fi is not good enough, if you get vertigo,
This is what it
folks,
looks like outside.
do
The
not.
lights are all off.
Oh no, they turn everything off right away. This is
Look
like
at this.
Blair Witch type of stuff,
Ooh.
dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah, maybe we come out here. No,
Yeah, that's what I'm
nobody's here.
saying.
Like literally nobody's here. The goals are up. I mean, I know Nico said I'm good up here, but I don't know. It feels
Todd, could you try going down the steps at one of the Heineken tables? See if that works.
yeah.
Yeah, Mandy Kennedy says, I think I have seen this horror movie before. I completely agree.
Dude.
Uh,
I mean, I know I'm good, but dude, I mean, this place is dead. Like literally no security guards.
and maybe that's the best,
Probably
Todd.
shouldn't be. I probably shouldn't be saying this on live, but yeah, look. I mean,
Yeah, prop your laptop on a table. Is there a table near you or no?
this is all I have.
God, this is fantastic.
Like that.
This is incredible. Mandy and anybody watching, what do you guys think? Todd, take a step back, maybe. What does it look like, dude? I think it looks great, dude.
Oh, all right, let's go back upstairs.
Yeah. We'll go back upstairs. But folks, the home
I think
games.
it's safe to say there's no union employees here.
Watch you and Melandra get locked in. That'll be
Oh,
something.
he
You
said that. He
guys.
said we have to sneak our way out of here, like where the TV docks are or something. I don't know what he was saying. I guess I'll have to find out because there's no way I'm going out like everybody else does.
Oh my goodness. Well, maybe Todd will be living out of the press box for the next 7 days as Charlotte makes their way over. But yeah, surprise everybody. We'll be doing these live certainly when we are at the stadium together and time allows. But also next week, unfortunately, I will be out at a bachelor party. So Todd, maybe you and Mike can carry it out. Maybe it's me from the Poconos calling in or videoing in. I don't know. I know I will be watching the match. I just don't know what type of state of mind I will be in. But I do know that there's some work being done for better Wi-Fi out at the lot. So we will see what happens over at the Sons of Ben lot. But for now, thank you everybody. 35 minutes of your time post show. We're gonna try to get better and better at the timing of this all, as well as the marketing. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Todd, thank you so much for hopping on and chatting with the players today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for setting this up, Jose, and having me. And let's hope David and I can get out of here.
Yeah, I bid you guys the best of luck and safe drive home. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Across the Pitch, a special edition after hours, 35 minutes, 36 minutes now. And if you're at home, tune in. Honduras, Canada. George Metellus, friend of the Across the Pitch show, is doing the commentary. So if you want a little quirk to your soccer, he is your man. For now, thank you everybody, and have a great night.